Sunday of week 3 is just hours away. Let's get the injury updates right now on Fantasy Football Today in 5. All right, we got some injury news for you, but we also have weather news for you here. Weatherman Heath Cummings is here. Let's take a look at the radar, Heath. We've got some rain forecast in the Northeast. We got the Jets, Patriots, the Ravens, not exactly the Northeast, Ravens, Colts, and Washington against Buffalo. Could be dealing with some rain. I think the worst conditions are probably going to be in New Jersey of those 3 games, but are you making any starter sit decisions based on that?
The most New Yorker thing you've ever done is indicate that Washington and Baltimore are not really in the Northeast. Basically the South. Listen, I'm not a weatherman, but Kevin Roth is. He's the guy that I generally follow for my weather information. He did put out a post this morning. It doesn't sound like Baltimore and Washington are going to be that bad. Maybe a little bit wet, maybe a tiny bit of wind. The only game I'm really concerned about, New England and the Jets, which is sad because we were so excited about their passing games. That over-under is all the way down to 36 now, which is just terribly low. Will be one of the lowest of the season. I'd really like to get away from Garrett Wilson, but he's still a number 3 wide receiver.
So if we look at Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, and Gabe Davis in those Northeastern games, how do you rank those 3?
I would go full PPR. I'm going to make this move this morning. I'd go Zay, then Wilson, then Davis. And non-PPR, I'd go Zay, Davis, Wilson.
All right, let's talk about Monday Night Football. We have 2 games, but the Bengals-Rams game is the tougher one here. Joe Burrow is questionable. We don't know if he's going to play. So what are we supposed to do about all of those passing game options on Sunday?
I am playing Jamar Chase and I'm playing T. Higgins. I'm not really thinking twice about it. With Burrow, I'd like to have Stafford or Baker if I'm trying to wait it out. I got a question last night about, do I just play Russell Wilson or wait for Burrow? I think you just play Russell Wilson unless, it's possible in the next 2 or 3 hours, we're going to get a report from one of the major reporters saying he's okay, Burrow's definitely playing, or the opposite. But if you have somebody that you view as a top 15 quarterback on your bench and you don't have a way to wait for Monday, you definitely just play that top 15 quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a lot. Right, top 15, right. I just don't have a ton of confidence in him. So I'm starting Geno Smith over him. I think that's an easy call.
Yep.
DK Metcalf's going to play. I started Brock Purdy over Burrow. It's really, to me, the Higgins thing is, yeah, I'll start Chase. Higgins, I don't know. For example, I just got a text message. Should I start Mike Evans or T. Higgins? And I said, look, you can wait till Monday, right? But even if Burrow plays, I said I'd start Higgins. But if you have a guy that's in the Evans range and it's a Sunday decision, I think, Higgins, I just don't view the same way as Chase with Jake Browning. I just don't view him as a must start. You do?
Yeah, I pretty much, we don't know that it's going to be Browning.
Right.
So it would be a different discussion. But if I'm talking 50% Burrow, 50% Browning, which is how I feel right now, then I still view Higgins as a must starter.
Any concerns about starting Puka Nacua or Devontae Smith as we sit here on Sunday?
Not really. No, I'm pretty good with starting both.
Jalen Waddle is out. And on Friday, Dave and Jamie didn't really seem to care in terms of Tua. When we thought Waddle might be out. Do you care in terms of Tua Tagovailoa? And is there any sleeper on the Dolphins?
No, I don't think there's a sleeper on the Dolphins. I'm afraid that the Broncos are going to beat the Dolphins today, honestly. But I moved Tua from QB3 to QB6. Okay. And I will say, that's behind Kirk Cousins. So, and I think a lot of people probably drafted that combo because they wanted the safe quarterback and the exciting quarterback. I'd start Cousins over him. I'd also start Goff over him.
Are you going to start Amon-Ra St. Brown? No hesitation?
No hesitation.
With something to keep an eye on, though. He's got a toe injury. Austin Eckler is out, and you wanted to talk about Josh Kelly.
Yeah, I think a lot of people got burned by Kelly last week. It was a terrible matchup, maybe a warning for Jerome Ford today against the Titans. But I'm mostly going back to Joshua Kelly. He's a number 2 running back. I would start him ahead of Jerome Ford this week.
And Kareem Hunt is going to play, but we're not going to start Kareem Hunt. We're going to wait.
We're not, but that did make me less excited about starting Ford. I think he touches the ball a little.
The Saints are going to be without 2 starters in their secondary, 2 guys who have played every snap this year, safety Marcus May and cornerback Paulson Adebo. Does that give you more hope for, and I don't even know the status of Christian Watson right now, unfortunately, but does that give you more hope for the Packers passing game?
It's that whole passing game is such a mystery. I view Jordan Love as a number 2 quarterback. You really have to be a little leery about how much of his fantasy production has come because of touchdowns. The rest has not been very good. Touchdowns are great, but I don't really want to start a Packers wide receiver. If Watson's out, then I think Dobbs a fine flex. Musgrave is a fine streaming type option. Reed's a boom bust flex. If Watson plays, then it's just a complete mess. But I'm not starting Watson in his first game back.
Pacheco and Tony are expected to play against the Bears. Do you want to start either guy?
I do not. Pacheco is a better flex, but they're both flexes.
Okay, Justice Hill is out, so Gus Edwards, Kenyon Drake, and Melvin Gordon will be active. And then I wanted to get your take on the Panthers passing game facing the Seahawks, who have been just terrible against passing game and will be without their top cornerback, Tariq Woolen, and it's Andy Dalton going.
Yeah, I think it's an upgrade for the Panthers pass catchers with the Andy Dalton starting today, especially Adam Thielen. I expect double-digit targets for him. He's a number 3 wide receiver.
All right. Let's see if I have any email or questions from the chat. Jerome Ford, Raheem Mostert, or James Cook? Pick one. PPR.
James Cook is a top 12 running back for me.
DJ Moore, Jordan Addison, or Zach Moss?
In half PPR especially, I'm going Zach Moss. I think he's going to touch the ball 20 times, especially after they cut Deion Jackson.
Would you sit Puka Nacua for Addison or Flowers? Because Nacua questionable.
I'm not that concerned about Puka.
Okay, and one more here. Madison, Sanders, or Javonte? Sanders for me.
Yeah, it's Sanders for me. It's a big week for him. He's getting hasn't done much yet.
Okay. And someone's asking Amari Cooper or Jamar Chase?
Chase.
Okay. All right, that's it for today's. Was this?
We did have the Twitter question.
Oh, the Twitter question. Yes, of course. What is
Do
that?
I bench all Vikings and Chargers because Adam Azer predicted to be the game of the week?
I gotta get the music queued up here. Let's. All right, everybody. The game of the week is going to come through today. We don't have to worry about bad weather. We don't have to worry about good defense. We're just going to sit back and enjoy the fantasy points. And this has been Fantasy Football Today in 5.